My name is Penny. I'm a 45-year-old full-time housewife. My husband, Paul, and I are married for 20 years now. Our only daughter, Paige, is turning 18 this year. We've been living together with my parents-in-law after getting married. My sickly mother-in-law passed away 3 years ago, so I'm currently nursing my 77-year-old father-in-law who needs care. My husband and I have been married for 20 years now. But the truth is, he cheated on me after we got married. He is as spoilt as the heir of the company owned by his father, so he is a bit sloppy in many ways. At that time, he did seem like he regretted what he did and reflected on it. Well, he was still young and foolish at the time, so I forgave him for what he did.
Penny, I will never cheat on you again! So please don't leave me! I don't know what to do without you! I need your help to keep our family together!
Well, if you say that much, but don't ever do it again, okay? But I guess he isn't a family-oriented person to begin with. We went out on dates before we got married, and I thought we both loved each other. However, it seems like he just sees me as a housekeeper who does the chores. And someone who takes care of his aging parents. Even when Paige was born, he was always busy at work and going out with friends, so he wasn't always at home. It looks like he stopped having an affair. He prioritizes his friends and his hobby of playing golf rather than prioritizing us, his family. At first I felt a bit sad because of that, but now that we've been married for 20 years, I've gotten used to it now. However, now that my father-in-law's health is starting to deteriorate, nursing him is getting more difficult, especially since I'm doing it alone. Paul, your father's health is slowly deteriorating. How about you at least stay home during the weekends and help me a little with nursing him?
Huh? Me? Why do I have to help you with that? You're a full-time housewife, so I'm leaving household matters to you. It's the wife's job to take care of their parents-in-law.
He's always grumpy like this every time I ask him to help me with the chores. But you're not home that much because you're very busy with work. You don't have to help me with the chores at home, because I know how exhausted you are every day. But please at least stay home during the weekends and stay by your father's side. He doesn't listen to me at all, no matter how many times I tell him this.
Seriously? You've got to be kidding me! Being by a sick person's side is depressing. There's no way you'll get me to stay by his side. I'm going to play golf with my friends this weekend too. If you're very busy, then ask Paige to help you.
Well, he's not wrong about me being a full-time housewife, but nursing someone for 24 hours every day is more difficult than most people would think. Our daughter Paige is a very good daughter who loves to help, but entrance exams are nearing, so I'm sure she's very busy studying for that. When my mother-in-law needed care, Paul forced everything on me during that period too.
I'm sorry, Penny. My son grew up to become a lazy and ill-mannered man because I didn't raise him well. When my wife needed to be nursed, Paul never helped you at that time either. I'm sorry for putting the burden on you all the time, Penny.
My father-in-law apologized to me like that, but I never really thought that looking after my father-in-law was a burden at all. Well, there are times when it is physically exhausting, but I love my father-in-law very much. Maybe it's because he runs a company, but he is very dependable and he's a great human being. I have nothing but respect for him. My mother-in-law, who was sickly, was a very kind-hearted woman. The reason why I don't divorce my husband, this is mostly thanks to my parents-in-law, who treated me very preciously like their own daughter. Frankly, I don't care about my husband anymore. I wanted to be by my parent-in-law's side. That's why I continued being married to him. You always took care of me and my fighter, Paige. We are and always will be family. That's right! I hope that you can live longer so I can play with you more, Grandpa. Paige is attached to her grandparents who were always at home and played with her. compared to her father, who wasn't always at home and never played with her. Unfortunately, my father-in-law's health slowly deteriorated by the day. My husband, who took over his father's company, works overtime every day, and he is always entertaining clients during the weekends. He has always been doing overtime, and I'm already used to this kind of life because we've been married for 2 decades now. However, my husband started to come home in the morning.
I've been entertaining my client by playing mahjong with him. He didn't show any signs of going home, so I was in a bit of a pickle. I guess it was more than just a bit.
Bad memories from the past came flooding back to me. During that time, my husband consecutively came home in the morning, making excuses like entertaining clients and whatnot. I've managed to remain married to him because he promised me that he wouldn't do that again. But I can't help but feel suspicious of my husband lately. A few days later, that day, my husband said the following words before he went to work.
I'll be doing overtime work today, so I won't be able to come home early.
All right, understood. I've noticed that you've been doing a lot of overtime work lately.
Huh? Really? Well, I guess I've been busier lately when I took over as president.
You're not cheating on me again, are you? This is not a deja vu of 20 years ago, right? I asked him right off the bat because I had a bad feeling about it. Then my husband turned pale and started becoming defensive.
What? What do you mean? It's just work. It's none of your business. You probably don't understand, but men have a thing called socializing.
He shouted at me with a scary look on his face, so I became speechless, but he really is very suspicious. I need to make this clear and settle it once and for all. The next day, I went to a detective agency and I asked the agency to investigate an affair. Then, just as I thought, Paul was having an affair with another woman. What shocked me is the woman he was having an affair with is the same woman who he had an affair with 20 years ago. What? So does that mean he continued to cheat on me for 20 years? You've gotta be kidding me. However dare he force me to do the chores at home and at the same time take care of his parents while he was doing whatever he wanted with his lover? I can't believe that I've been fooled by the same man for 20 years. That bastard really only thinks of me as a housewife on demand. While flames of anger burned inside me, my daughter, Paige, walked into the room. Hey Mom, I noticed that Dad has been doing plenty of overtime work lately, and didn't he come home in the morning the other day? I'm sure he's having an affair. That's my daughter. I can tell that she has a sixth sense. Looking at Paige, who had a worried expression on her face, I forced a smile and replied, I know, Paige, but don't worry. Look, I have all the evidence that I need. After saying that, I showed the pictures taken by the detective. What? Really? I was hoping it wasn't true, but that stupid man! I don't even want to call him my father. There is a limit to doing as you please. Mom, there's no need for you to put up with that moron anymore. That sloppy man with no sense of responsibility. You should beat the hell out of him and leave him. Oh my, she's already said all the words I wanted to say. You're right. Now that it has come to this, I will not have mercy on him anymore. I will take proper care of my father-in-law until the end, and I will really say goodbye to Paul this time around. I am going to make sure he pays for all the grudges I have against him. He's been mocking me this whole time. I won't give him a free pass for that. That's how it should be. Go, Mom! I'm rooting for you! That is how I decided to take revenge on that unfaithful man. A few days later, Paul told me that he'd be coming home late again that night. He says it's work, but anyone should think he's being suspicious. You seem to be very busy every day, but if you see Mary that much, I wonder if she'll ever get bored.
What? What? How did you know about Mary?
Seeing my husband's confused expression about the sudden mention of his lover, I shoved the evidence in his face. What's worse is that I found out his lover was pregnant. When he got me pregnant, he never came to my house to make sure I was okay. But now that his lover is pregnant, he visits her every day, so I was pissed.
Now that you've found out about my affair, then so be it. Let's get a divorce. A divorce! Alright, I get it. You want to break up with me immediately, right?
He's trying to defend himself, but it's not working. But I won't let him win this time. No, I won't get a divorce that easily. Paul was even more confused by my reply.
Huh? Why? I don't mind getting a divorce right away. My son with Mary is the boy, after all. I'll remarry, and I plan to make him my successor.
Yeah, whatever. I already knew that. I already investigated that as well. He was speaking abusively after all. When he found out that Paige was not a boy, he is the worst man in the world. I see, so you were just using me when your parents needed someone to nurse them. And now that you don't need me anymore to do that, you're just going to throw me away like that? You really take advantage of people.
Well, that's that. I'm glad you understand.
Paul smirked while saying that. What a man! I will never let you get away with what you want.
I know what you want. You want money from me, right? I'll pay alimony, and I'll also pay for Paige's tuition. Is $20,000 enough?
Is that how cheap he thinks our 20 years of being together are? Just as I thought, he's offering a petty sum. Does he seriously think I will accept that very small amount? What an idiot. You never gave me a single penny when your mother passed away, right? Even though I was the one who took care of her the whole time. Paul is a very stingy man who only hands me the bare minimum for living expenses. The reason why Paige and I can pay for things is only because my father-in-law secretly gave us money for living expenses. However, when I started talking about inheritance, it seems like Paul remembered how he will be receiving his father's inheritance soon.
I see. So you're asking for more money because I'll be receiving an inheritance from my father, right? You're a schemer too, aren't you? Alright, I'll receive more inheritance after my father goes. And since I took over his company, my future is secure. So how about I give you $300,000 for Paige's tuition and child support? I'll throw this house into that as well. How does that sound to you?
I imagined pumping my fist in the air when he did exactly what I expected him to. When I let him on, he walked right into the trap.
No more complaints when there's money. Alright now, goodbye.
After saying that, Paul packed up his things and walked out the door. Paige and I looked at each other and we laughed so hard because that stupid idiot didn't notice a thing. I can't help but laugh at him. 2 weeks after Paul left, my father-in-law passed away. I was by his side until the end, so I don't have any regrets at all. I'm rather grateful that he allowed me to take care of him until the end. One day, when Paige and I were sorting out the belongings of my late father-in-law, Paul suddenly showed up out of nowhere.
Hey, Penny! What's the meaning of this?
Oh my, it seems like he finally noticed.
I was supposed to receive $3 million from my father as inheritance! Why didn't I receive a single penny?
Well, I'm sending my condolences to you.
The lawyer came to my house and told me that you and Paige will inherit all this money. Also, I had no idea that he gave Paige a gift before he died.
Actually, my father-in-law got fed up with Paul, that he ran out of love for his son a long time ago. So he gave a gift of inheritance to Paige, his granddaughter, a long time ago. In his will and testament, he wrote the following: "No inheritance for my son Paul. All of my assets will be inherited by my daughter-in-law Penny and my granddaughter Paige." My father-in-law turned his back on his son, who did nothing but go out with his friends instead of taking care of him and his wife. Paige and I knew this truth before my husband divorced me. I doubt that Paul has anything left in his name now because he gave the house to me and Paige and he paid all his money to me as alimony.
What? You knew about this? I won't let you get away with this! I'll sue you!
Yeah, sure, sue me, whatever. All you'll get is a meager distributive share after all.
Why?
Why, you ask? How about you think about it for a change? For the past 2 decades of being married to you, you've been doing whatever you want to do without considering making time for your family. Your parents and I continue to support you despite that. You were able to do all the things you wanted to do because we supported you. But you didn't care about us at all. Instead, you've been cheating on me for the past 20 years. You should see what 20 years of resentment is like.
What? But no! Please help me! We're family, right?
Huh? What are you saying? We're not family anymore. We're complete strangers now. Seeing Paul cry in front of me, I didn't feel an ounce of sympathy. He should probably continue to do as he pleases. In your face. After that, he was dismissed by the company's board of directors. He recklessly ran the business because he was the CEO of the company, and he received critical opposition from the board of directors. My father-in-law already knew what would happen, so he made sure that his company would be taken care of after he was gone. I heard that a senior employee took over and is following in his footsteps. As for Paul, who was kicked out of the company, he became very poor immediately. His lover also dumped him. He has done nothing but talk big. No matter what job he took, he couldn't do anything right, so he was useless. As a result, he easily got fired and let go. It seems like he's working on daily contracts, but the rumors say he was found by a debt collector and he was taken to a place where no one knows. As for his lover, her family cut ties with her and she is now knee-deep in debt because of the alimony that I demanded from her. As a result, she can't raise her child on her own, so her parents are taking care of the baby. It seems like she is now working during the night in tears because she can't get out of poverty no matter how much she works. As for Paige and me, Paige passed the entrance exam at the university where she's always wanted to go. She will be a university student this year. Actually, I am taking on new challenges. Paige, I passed! I can finally attend the pâtissier school of my dreams. That's my mom! I knew you could do it, Mom! You were studying very hard after all. You've done so much and made a lot of sacrifices for our family. I will support you with your new life. By the way, where's the school located? Huh? Of course, the school is in Paris. I'm going to start my life as a student in Paris this October. I want to open my shop in the future. Bonjour! What? You're going to study abroad? Wow, that's very cool, Mom. I know you will become one of the best in the world. I can feel it. Thank you for watching. What kind of crazy people will we get to see next? Stay tuned for more.